Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. Today I'm sharing a bullet journal migration with you. This is my second one for the year. I did one in March as well. I'll link it up in the cards for you so that you can check that out. I decided to keep all my layouts in my old bullet journal and make some new ones for my new bullet journal. And I also decided to do lettering with watercolor. I'm using the Art Philosophy Tropicals set, and I'm using colors 14, 15, and 16 to create this ombre effect. And I'm using a Scribbles That Matters 160 GSM bullet journal, which means that it handles watercolor and water very well. But again, you want to be very careful not to saturate it, or oversaturate it, which is what has been going on here. Throughout the video, you may see me blotted with little bits of paper towel, and that's when I had too much water splotch onto the page. So that's a way that you can kind of make that work. So for this first layout, I am doing a 2020 theme spread. And so what this is going to be is I'm going to mark down what theme I used for the month. So in January, I used penguins. February was Wonder Woman. March was teacups. April, I believe, was bees. May was, I don't even remember. It feels like forever ago. And then, of course, April was rainbows. May was bees. June was pineapples, and then for July I used popsicles. So that's what's going to go in there. I have some stickers left over, so I'll be utilizing those. And then you'll also see me use some other tips and tricks throughout the layout, especially with lettering. So after I did my watercolors, I carefully erased my pencil lines, and then I went in with my Tombow Mono Drawing Pen, and I added some shadows with a gray Tombow Fudenosuke as well, which kind of gave it that really cool 3D pop effect. This is actually a part 2 video of my setup. My part 1 was my lettering my bullet journal lettered page, which is what is coming is better than what is gone. I will link that in the cards as well. And I separated the 2 videos out as the lettering of the inking of the quote took a lot longer than every other layout I did for the bullet journal migration. But I'll link that for you as well. So for lettering the January through December, I used my Tombow Fudenosuke in gray. And again, I did thicker down strokes with thinner up strokes, just to give it some personality. And because it's the start of a bullet journal, the left-hand side of the page wasn't very even, so I used another journal just underneath it to make it more even, so that my hand was staying level the whole time. And as in all my bullet journal setups, you see me do my border. For my next layout, I'm doing a Kanban board again. That is the only layout I migrated over. And so I actually have this as a printable on my website. I have my website linked down below. And it's actually part of my From Blank to Brilliant library, which is only accessible to email subscribers. So if you're interested in getting freebies every month, and that those freebies include templates as well as stickers, make sure to subscribe, and you'll get access to that immediately. So I just printed my Kanban board out and I glued it in. And then just to make it so that it matched my other layouts, I just went in and I used my watercolors as a highlighter just so that it kind of tied into the rest of the layouts. Now my next two layouts are single layouts. On the left hand side of the page is a playlist, a 2020 playlist layout, and on the right hand side is television series. So for my playlist, I decided what I'd do was I'd write down the songs that I've been listening to and that I enjoyed for 2020, just because yes, gratitude and, things that you enjoy and are making this okay. But for the most part, it was mostly just, there are a few songs that I really loved and I thought it would be fun to write them down. So this is what the playlist is. You will see shortly, I will go in and I will start watercoloring some of the boxes. Now my intention for those boxes is to print the art for that single and glue it down in the watercolored space, so it's just really a placeholder for it, and then write down the name of the song and the artist. But I thought it was kind of fun and tied in again the colors with the rest of the layouts. So I find the trick to using watercolors in your bullet journal is to go very fast. So you have to put down more paint before the other paint dries. That way you don't run into oversaturation and warping your pages. There was a little bit of warp on my pages, but once the paint dried, it wasn't as big of a deal, which was fantastic. But yes, you're going to want to work fast. So that is the biggest takeaway from using watercolors in your bullet journal, and that is to go fast before the paint has a chance to dry. Now this layout is for a television series. I'll be recording the name, the season, and then a check mark for whether I've watched it or not. Not big into movies right now at the moment, so it's more important for me to record television series. For example, I know I'm behind on The Crown and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, so just to keep track of those that I kind of forgot along the way. So another trick I wanted to share with you was drawing straight lines without a ruler, or at least close to straight lines without a ruler. And what you want to do is you want to lock your wrist and move with your elbow. So what that means is your wrist doesn't move the entire time, and your whole arm, your forearm up to your elbow goes with you, and that's how you're going to get that straight line. That I've also been able to go over, like do double lines and stay on track with the line I freehanded in the first place, just by using that simple trick. Now this layout is kind of fun and kind of special to me. So I ended up trying ribbon lettering with the watercolor paints. Now this specific layout is for gift ideas, since we're heading into Christmas and family birthday season for us. I thought it would be fun to have a spot where I could keep track of gift ideas for family. I thought it would be fun to do ribbon lettering with the gift ideas heading, and I also thought it would be fun to use watercolors to create that ribbon effect. Overall, I would say it was successful, and I managed to not damage my bullet journal, so that was a full-on win. And so the reason why I make that joke is because it's easy to oversaturate your page when you're trying to add shadows and you're going back and forth. So what I ended up doing was I tried to do the shadowing the first go around. I tried to be very careful where I was adding more color, especially in the folds of the ribbon. And then if I had to go back and add more, I would wait for the page to dry, and then I would go in and add more on top. That way it was kind of creating a bit of a surface or another layer on the page that protected it a bit more. And because I wasn't using a lot of water, this worked really well. But I had a lot of fun, and honestly, I enjoy watching it come to life on the screen too. So I hope you enjoy it as well. And yes, I apologize for the hair coming into the screen. It was very delicate work, and so I was trying to get as close to the page as possible, and it's been super humid, so my hair is out of control. I am publishing a blog post where I will include these tips and tricks if you'd like to go back and review them, and if you're interested in ribbon lettering and watercoloring in your bullet journal. And I've also done a tutorial on ribbon lettering before, so I will make sure to link that up in the cards as well so that you can check that out. So the final watercolor effect I used was to watercolor the kind of strips of washi/tape. I made a mistake with the first one in that I drew the outline first, and the pens I used are water-based, so I wasn't quite sure how well this was going to go, but it did pretty good, so I was happy about that. But anyways, I free-handed the tape, quote-unquote tape, and then I went in with a ruler and I did proper straight edge lines around the boxes themselves, and I thought this was kind of fun because it gave it that rough tape-like effect, but then the actual boxes themselves are like post-it notes or something along those lines. But thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe and like, and I'd appreciate it a lot. If you have any comments or questions, please reach out below. I'd love to answer them. You can also check out my blog for more information, which I've linked down below as well. I've also given you all of my supplies that I used down below, so you can check those out too if you are itching to do some watercoloring in your notebook. But thank you for watching today.